Did you know that a single brown bat can kill up to 1,000 mosquito-sized insects in a night? Not only that, but they also help pollinate plants and spread seeds. So today, I'm going to show you how you can build your very own bat house so that you can have your own colony at home on Modern Builds. Now obviously I'm not the biggest bat expert in the world, but I did do a lot of research to figure out how to build a proper bat house, and I also just came across a lot of cool information about bats. So if you plan on building this project, make sure and check my written article where I'll have written plans and diagrams for this, as well as more links to more information about bats and bat houses. Now, let's get started. I started by just cutting the plywood that I'm going to be using for my back. And here I'm using the surface planer to clean up one face of my cedar boards. These are actually fence panels, and you could always use a sander too to clean them up. The planer's just faster. The quality of wood in the fence panels is actually pretty nice, and it's really cheap. So after cutting the roof and the facer slats, I cut my 1x2s oversized for my sides. And I cut one end on each board to 10 degrees to set my roof at an angle. And I cut that same angle on one edge of my roof as well as one edge of my top slat. And finally, I had all my pieces cut. Now bats aren't going to be able to climb and hang from the bare wood very easily, so I got this plastic mesh that's actually used to guard gutters from debris and used it to line the inside of the box. The size of the mesh is perfect and it's really durable, so this is a great fit. I'll leave the product links in my written article. As you work, you want to make sure that you cover as much space with the mesh as possible, but also leave room for all of the pieces to go together. And once you get the inside of your pieces lined with mesh, it's time to put everything together. Now I'm using a silicone caulk everywhere I'm joining boards so that it keeps the weather out. This way the bats stay warm and dry. I'm using exterior grade screws to hold everything together, and I also made sure to drill pilot holes as well as countersink my screws for a nice look. And the 1/8 inch gap between the bottom slat is so that air can move throughout the chamber and keep all the bats comfortable. And once I trimmed my sides, I could attach my plywood back. I positioned the back so that there was about 1 inch of plywood above the roof and then a 6 to 9 inch landing pad below the house. That way the bats have somewhere to climb in. I made sure to use a lot of caulk around the roof. That way there was no way there would be any rain getting in. And this 3/4 inch thick strip of wood is called a predator guard. It keeps bigger animals out of the bat house and is just big enough so that the bats can get in. Here I'm just sanding the bat house up to 220 grit and then putting on a finish. This is an exterior grade finish actually made for decks and siding, so I know it's going to be strong. And in a couple days, once the finish is cured, the bat house is done. And now all I have to do is hang this bat house on my house. Now you're going to want to hang your bat house up at least 12 to 15 feet off the ground to keep the bats away from predators, and in a spot that gets at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight a day so that they stay warm. And if you're planning on building a bat house for yourself, be sure to check out my written article so you can get plenty of information to do it right. If this is your first time to my channel, I want to say welcome, as well as please subscribe, because I put out a new project video every week and you'll definitely want to stick around and check those out. If you've got any questions on this project, don't forget to leave me a comment below. I try to get to all of those. And if you want to keep up with me throughout the week, as well as to see if I get any bats to live in this thing, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. That's where I post most often and my favorite social media. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next week on Modern Builds.